So, this is an interesting story that was picked up by the New York Post. Why women don't want to date a red pill man, warning as grim male trend erupts. All right, so we know that the red pill is global, right? So this article is actually based in Australia. It says there are over 330,000 more women than men in Australia. But despite the dating pool inequity, there's a growing number of single guys whom women will never pursue. These undateable men are those who subscribe to the red pill notion, an alarming subculture that perpetuates a societal hatred against women by opposing feminist narratives and emphasizing traditional gender roles. Women are like, I would rather not. I would rather say single, thank you very much. The term originates from a 1999 film, The Matrix, where the lead character is offered a choice between a red pill and a blue pill. The red pill symbolizes awakening to harsh realities, while the blue pill represents remaining happy but ignorant. Men's rights activists have taken the red pill concept to represent a similar awakening to what they perceive as the true nature of society and gender relations. These modern misogynists often come together online in a virtual space dubbed the Manosphere, a collective of various digital communities promoting warped views of masculinity. It's wild that this publication has picked this up like this. People found within the manosphere include men's rights activists and incels, a group of heterosexual men who blame women and society for their lack of romantic success and who openly admit to loathing women for not sleeping with them. While it's easy to brush off the rise of mainstream misogyny as internet fodder or a sensationalized storyline from a TV show, data show it's seeping into every corner of culture from social media feeds to Aussie classrooms. The disturbing rise in troubled men is something Australians should be worried about, warns Tarag Shala, a vocal advocate for gender equality and an anti violence campaigner. The rise of red pill culture and manosphere thinking isn't just edgy internet banter, it's leading to real world harm. At its core, it frames gender equality as this kind of threat and paints women as either being manipulative or lesser. It normalizes misogyny and creates this culture where violence against women is excused, minimized, or even justified. Australians should be concerned. Shala, whose sister Nikita was just 23 years old when her husband murdered her in a jealous rage in 2015, added that these distorted beliefs create a dangerous space for women to exist in. The idea that men are universally oppressed or that women only pursue wealthier men or a certain kind of man reinforces this toxic adversarial view of gender that is pitting people against each other. And resentment, when mixed with entitlement and dehumanization, becomes a risk factor for violence. But when these groups grow and spread vitriol, women are using the internet to warn each other, beware of the red pill guy. One feminist social media user who dedicates her page to calling out male content creators spewing red pill ideology recently captioned one of her clips, "Don't date or take relationship advice from these males." Others are sharing the moment they realize their other half had swallowed the red pill, with many revealing it caused the relationship to come to an end. These red pill guys have gotten out of hand, one shared in an emotional video. But who are these men and how can women spot them? Melbourne psychologist Carly Dober said research shows some men are more vulnerable to the harmful ideology than others. Systemically, some young men feel they are being culturally left behind academically and professionally, with wages and jobs not as easy to access and the typical markers of adulthood, home ownership and procreation, more difficult or impossible to access compared to previous generations. So this article didn't dive too deep into the talking points of the red pill, of the manosphere. One thing that they cannot stand are people like me, feminists. They cannot stand feminists at all, especially since they think that men are being left behind systemically. So it must be the feminist problem. So feminism is one of the things that they cannot stand. One of the things that they push are the traditional roles like man leader, woman submissive. They talk about submissive all the time, but the thing is, in this economy, both people have to have jobs. So that's quite important. So that's one of the reasons why they're kind of talking themselves out of relationships, because women want to work, women go to school, but they are stuck on the number three thing, hypergamy, and how relationships are one-sided and relationships don't benefit men, even though, I mean, they're stuck there, but women are working. I mean, I don't know the dynamics of the workforce in Australia, but here in America, like 78% of women are in the workforce. And that other percentage is probably women who have come out of the workforce because of having babies or being a caretaker. Some of the things that they say that they for are for men to worry about self improvement, get into the gym, get your money up, and all of that. But their self improvement seems more like, antagonistic. Like, I got to get this money up so that then I can go out and get whatever woman I want. It's not really seeming like it's for self improvement, it's so that they can get the control that they're lacking or the power that they're lacking. Some of the other talking points, they're just critiquing society, but when they're critiquing society, it just basically seems like they're critiquing women. As they talk, on the surface, self improvement could be good, but the way that they do it, it doesn't seem like they're really improving themselves because it's very surface level, like gym money, and maybe some nice clothes. I don't know. Some of the other things that they talk about, prenups, they use pickup. They're still using these dating strategies that seem like very outdated. Nothing that they talk about seems particularly current. But the good thing is, many of us women are watching the things that they do. We report back to other women so that when they do start dropping all of these terms, we can report back to the other women. We're all spreading this stuff. So as they are spreading globally, we are warning women globally. It's wild that in Australia, they said that there are over 330,000 more women than men, but these women are still opting out because ultimately the way that they talk about women, they dehumanize women to the point where women are saying, no, I would rather be single, because they have basically reduced women to being a wife appliance, incubator, bang maid, and that's pretty much that. They said, if I have enough money, I am going to purchase a woman. And women are like, no, I would rather be alone. And the crazy thing is, this is the craziest part. Some of these men will have relationships. They will be in relationships. And some kind of way they end up in the pipeline going down the red pill. They'll be in balanced relationships that are more egalitarian. But once they go down that pipeline, they start sabotaging their own relationships, where women are just like, okay, now I gotta go. Now we gotta break up. I cannot be with you if you're going to start demanding that I act like this traditional role, and I'm going off to work, or I am not here to be a servant to you. You're not my master. Some of these men actually think that they own a woman. It's like, dude, we're not in slavery. Being in a relationship is not a slave master, enslaved person relationship. So many of these people, these red pillars, are making men in relationships single. It is the craziest phenomenon ever. Anyways, it is wild that the New York Post picked it up, but I honestly think that they could have done a better job with fleshing this out. They could have talked about some of the men that are leading the charge, their voices or whatnot. But one of the things that I want to remind us all, Cinco de Mayo is coming up, the anniversary of Kitten Hill's kicking the bucket. We are going to celebrate his timely passing, because yes, he should have passed. And that was basically, I kind of feel like the red pill has been going down since then. You don't hear them as much, but that's because we are spreading the word. These men are there. and the men that are listening to them are poisoned. But I do believe that it's kind of fracturing, especially since women are just like, I would rather be alone than to deal with any of these men. Anyways, let me know what you think about all of this. Join the conversation. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.